Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at Aptos. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so we don't have a lot of price history here for this coin. We have from October 2022, and the way that I'm currently looking at this structure is that we can look at this in two ways. So we can look at this as potentially looking to push to the upside again, with this being a substantial low here. And then we could also look for the potential that we could actually look to put another low in place here. So within our bullish count, effectively what we would be saying here is that we are looking at something like this, where this move could either be a wave 1 or an A wave to the upside. And we could be looking for this move looking to form as A, B, and then C, if it's just going to be a 3-wave corrective structure, in which case our target would be this 2276. If however this is going to become an impulse, what we could actually see here is that this could become 1, 2, we see 3, 4, and 5, where we could look for this potential to push up towards this $40 to this $36 region. Now if this is the case, what we need to see is a push up towards this 33.53 from our current low to give us a confirmation of this third wave. Now invalidation of this comes by dropping below this 306. If we hold above this level, we could potentially start to see price looking to push to the upside here, looking for this idea of a fifth wave to the upside. Now if we are looking at this potential here, what we would be saying is that this could be a potentially completed move here. We do need to however be careful, because there is still potential we could see a little bit more downside. Now within this idea of this being a corrective move completed, what we could have here is that this is W, this is X, this is Y, and we could be looking at this as a completed move. Now we have to be careful, because as long as we fail to push back above this previous X wave, which is here at this 1359, we'd always need to be on the lookout for the fact that we could still see a 3-wave move to the upside like this, and then starting to see continuation to the downside in 3 waves again for a Z wave. Now this could still potentially look to stay above this low over here, in which case we could still look at that corrective count. But if we do see something like this and we take this low, then the probability is that, you know, this move is actually still looking at being a corrective move, and we're going to see some lower prices come in, obviously. So now within this idea, what we'd be saying is that from this point we could be looking to push to the upside. Now what we also have to be careful of is that there is the potential this could be an incomplete correction here, and what we could still see is another move to the downside. Now within this idea, instead of looking at this as W, X, and Y, what we'd be saying is that we look at this as a diagonal, where this becomes AB. We have this as wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and we could still be looking for a fifth wave to the downside. Now the 1-to-1 is down here at this $3.84, which would be bringing us back into these lows. This would also align with the idea of having a rejection to the downside here. Now, as long as we actually stay below this zone of this $9.46, we need to be careful that any kind of a 3-wave structure here could still count as a fourth wave, and we could still see a fifth wave to the downside, looking to target out this 436 to this 279. Now, if we're looking for this idea of this being a corrective move, we don't want to see this low get taken out, and we want to see this hold this if we're looking for that impulse idea to the upside. If we start to see this break down too deep here, we could actually have that fact that we could still have more structure to go to the downside, where this all becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to go over that idea in a second. Now if we are looking at this as a potentially completed move, what we'd be saying here is we need to see this push to the upside and push up past this zone of this 1093 as the first thing that I'd want to see here, you know, as a potential area that we could look for some confirmation. Now within this idea, what we'd be saying is that this move to the upside could potentially be A, we're looking for this as a B, and then we need to see this C wave develop to the upside. At the moment we do not have enough of a confirmation for this, and what we need to see is a push up towards this zone of this 994. Now the interesting thing about this is this aligns with that high, so if we do just see 3 waves up here, this would still align with that idea of that fourth wave, and we could still see a sell-off. For the idea that we're going to see a break to the upside here, what we need to see is price needs to push up and hit this 1.618 level here, which is sitting at this $11.30. If we do see price looking to push up into these zones where we get this as 1, 2, we get a bigger third wave, fourth wave, and a fifth wave, looking to complete towards this 1245 to this 1174. This could then become the first part of the next move to the upside, where this becomes 1, 2, and then we look for that bigger push to the upside. So this is going to be our key level here. if we are looking for this continuation to the upside. Invalidation of this potentially turning into an impulse is here at this 533, in which case if we do start to take that, it becomes more likely that we are within that fourth wave and then looking for that fifth wave to the downside still. So there is also the potential here on the higher time frame that we could still look at this as just a bigger corrective structure here, where this move is actually just A, B, and then C. Now within this, I do think it is neater to count this as a 5-wave structure here, but potentially we could argue that we have something like a flat correction here. I have to keep an eye on this, but if we do develop a 5-wave move down that takes this low, this would then confirm that this was the end of a move and not the beginning of a move. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this low over here towards this zone of this $3.11. Now if we are looking at this as idea of a C wave, what we would be looking out for is the potential to move back down towards this $1 area. Now within this, what we could have is that this move could actually be 1, 2. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the idea here would be the same. We'd still be looking for that same idea of a fourth wave here. So if we just see 3 waves up, we could still start to see that 5-wave breakdown, looking for this lower target, and then looking for that potential that within this we could get an additional fourth and a fifth. So it's going to be important here that if we do break down in 5 waves here, we're going to have to watch how we retrace. For as long as we fail to take this previous fourth wave, we could still look for continuation to the downside afterwards. So it's going to be very important here moving forward how the price actually reacts to these levels. And like I said, we need to see that impulsive count starting to play out here if we are looking at that potential for this breakout. But anything less than a move up towards this 1130, developing a fourth wave and a fifth wave to the upside, is indicating that we could still see that continuation to the downside looking to come in. Coming in here and having a look at the more local structure here. So saying that we are looking for this idea of a C wave, if we are looking at this from this point where we currently are here, what I would be looking out for is that we could potentially start to see something along these lines where we treat this move here as a wave 1. We look at this as wave 2, and then we'd be looking for 3, 4, and a 5, looking to push us up towards this 995 to this 959 area. Now, the key zone here would be this 936 as a impulsive target. Invalidation of this comes by crossing this 664. Now, if we do see price actually look to invalidate this, it is still possible that from further back here, what we could have is that this could still be within the B wave, and we could have something like this where this becomes A, B, and we still see one more push to the downside where we could look to potentially target out some of these lower levels here. This 786 would be an interesting zone to keep an eye on, as well as coming back into these lows here towards this golden pocket, which is sitting at this 647 to this 638. Now, if we do look at this in this way, where this is a bigger corrector structure, where this is A, B, and C, this would align with, like I said, coming back here one more time before looking for that push to the upside. That 1-to-1 would roughly be back into this golden pocket as well. So it would be very interesting to see how we react around those zones if we fail to actually develop as that C wave directly to the upside. Like I said here, within this idea, we need to see this follow through. If this is a C wave, we need to hold this support zone here. Ideally, I don't want to see this 786 getting lost at this $6.77, and then we see a bigger 5-wave move to the upside. From that point, it's going to be important what happens. If this is going to look to break up in a bigger way, what we could actually do is form this as 1, 2. We form this as another 1 and a 2, and then we look to push up in a bigger way there. Alternatively, like we said previously, this could just be 3 waves up for that 4th wave, and then we still look for that continuation down. So it's going to be very interesting to see how we react around this high here, and whether we continue to hold support after this point if we do get a 5-wave move to the upside. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you will find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it is free to join. Everyone have a great day. We will see you in the next one. Take care.